Okay, we have an activity for you for this, but I'm going to go through these notes anyway, just in case, so that you can make sure that you have everything right. So this is the carbon cycle. And at the top of my carbon cycle, I'm going to have the atmosphere. And the atmosphere is made up of what type of carbon? Well, there are lots of things in the atmosphere, but the carbon that's in the atmosphere is in what form? And if you said it is inorganic CO2, then you are right. Now, this carbon is going to move from the atmosphere into our plants, also known as our producers. And the process that moves from the atmosphere carbon into the producers is called photosynthesis. Ugh. That did not work well. Should have drawn a longer line. So that's photosynthesis. Now, from the producers, the carbon is going to move into our herbivores. Also known as our primary consumers or our first order heterotrophs. Now, these producers have organic carbon, and they are moving it into herbivores also as organic carbon. But the process that moves it from producers to our herbivores is eating, so that is going to go there. I could also say death, because hopefully the herbivores are killing the plant before they actually eat it. I mean, maybe not, but it's going to be dead by the time it's inside that herbivore. All right, now herbivores are moving carbon into carnivores, also known as our second order heterotrophs or secondary consumers. This is also going to be organic carbon. And the process that moves this carbon is eating / death. And I'm going to stop there because I think you get the idea. But this is not where our carbon ends. Doesn't hit a dead end in carnivores, and not all of the carbon that goes into the producers ends up being moved to the herbivores. So producers can also die, and if they die, that carbon gets moved into the soil, which is where the decomposers are. And the soil decomposers are also eating the dead plants. Herbivores can also die and be decomposed, as can my carnivores. So the process here is eating / death, eating / death. Now once that carbon ends up in my soil decomposers, they are going to do cellular respiration. And cellular respiration is going to move that carbon from these soil and decomposers, and it's going to release it back into the atmosphere as as inorganic CO2. So this process is cellular respiration. The type of carbon in these soil and decomposers is organic, and they are converting it into inorganic CO2 that goes back into the atmosphere. Okay, we're almost done. Our producers are also going to be releasing some CO2, and our herbivores are going to be releasing some CO2, and our carnivores are also going to be releasing some CO2. So all three of these are going to be releasing CO2 back into the atmosphere, because all three of these things also do cellular respiration. So this is a carbon cycle. As you can see, the carbon is moving through. It always ends up back where it started. It can take these different paths, but no matter what, it's going to end up back where it started at some point. This should look really, really familiar to you, because this model here is almost exactly the same as this model here. These are just different ways to show the same thing, that carbon is going to cycle through our food chain.